Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Boksu, the monthly subscription service that brings premium Japanese snacks and tea accompaniments right to your doorstep. You can get a taste of Japan without leaving your home. This totally reminds me of my unboxing days when people from all over the world would send me treats from their home countries, and I had the best time opening treats, tasting treats, and just getting a little sliver of another person's culture, childhood, all of it in little tasty treats. I feel like it's a wonderful way to learn about another culture and experience another culture without having to travel. So each box features a new theme and a new gourmet journey, and Boksu is the only company that partners with centuries-old family-run snack makers, so you can have a true premium and authentic Japanese snack tasting experience. So Boksu also has a mini documentary series featuring some of these family-run businesses, so you can learn more about the snacks and the makers behind them. Boksu sent me a box of treats. Let's go ahead and open it and see what's inside. Here we are. Oh look, this is a Valentine themed box. It comes with a lovely booklet called Pink Valentine. This includes a map and it shows you specifically where all these treats come from. If you travel in Japan, you always look for the hyper-regional treats there, and there's things that can be only found in little towns or little parts of Japan. So it's so wonderful to have this map to see the actual locations of the treats. So when I lived in Japan, I lived on the smallest of the largest islands, and this is Shikoku. So here are a couple packets of hojicha. This is a delicious roasted tea. Look at these, aren't they sweet? They're heart-shaped senbei, which are little rice crackers. Hokkaido white raspberry. This is a little tiny ampon. This is a red bean filled bread. So cute. I love the colors in this box as well. It's so sweet. And these are my favorite, miyake kombu senbei. And I love how they include 2 full sizes so you can share. That's perfect for Valentine's Day. Ume sake candy. In my opinion, one of the best ways to learn about a culture is to taste it, and Boksu is a wonderful way to do that. So if you'd like to check them out for yourself, click the link down below and use my code EMMY to receive 10% off your first Boksu order. Big thanks to Boksu for sponsoring this video and for allowing me to make better videos for all of you. Today I'm going to be making an air cheesecake. I mean, just the title alone sounds intriguing. It also has bold claims that you can make it in 5 minutes. It only contains 3 ingredients and it's supposed to taste like cheesecake. I sold, yes, 100% sold. I'm here to test all of those claims and most importantly, to taste it to see if it indeed tastes like cheesecake, if it is delicious, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing we're going to need is some cream cheese. And as you know, in some parts of the country, there have been cream cheese shortages, including my region. I live in the northeast part of the United States, and I have not seen cream cheese in a little while, but I did find some, so I'll be able to actually make this. This recipe actually comes from the back of the box of Philadelphia cream cheese in Japan. So I had to make sure that I got the real deal, and I did. We've got a brick of Philadelphia cream cheese, but if you don't have Philadelphia cream cheese, you can make cream cheese yourself. I'll put a link down below to that video if you missed it. There's another one I'd like to try where you make cream cheese out of Greek style yogurt, but it takes some time. I've read anywhere from 24 hours to a couple of days to drain all the way out to get yourself some cream cheese consistency. So I perhaps will test that video. If you'd like me to test out that recipe, let me know down in the comments. So this recipe calls for 100 grams of cream cheese. That's a little less than half a brick. So I'm gonna slice that. Okay, let's see if I got 100 grams. 105, pretty close. Got 100 grams of cream cheese. So that equals about 3.5 ounces or a little less than half a brick of cream cheese. That's 8 ounces, so, you know, about 4 ounces. So since my cream cheese is cold, I'm gonna place it in the microwave and warm it for about 10 seconds, just so it's more at room temperature so that the blending goes a little bit easier. So let's boop it in there. Boop. The warm cream cheese is much softer now, right? I'm gonna grab a pot holder. Look at these pot holders my Aunt Suzy made for me. Oh my goodness. We've got lobsters, we've got chickens. So great. Got some pigs and such. The best. Thanks, Aunt Suzy. I'm gonna go with the lobster right on top of there. The reason why I did that is so that this doesn't bounce around. So we've got the cream cheese in the bowl, and now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Gonna blend this together. Oh yeah, it already smells like a cheesecake already. That classic tangy cream cheese smell. Now, when I was a kid, I did not like cheesecake. I didn't. I found it was too heavy. Even now I find it a bit heavy, but I like it now. I just have a small little slice. Okay, now we're gonna beat this up and incorporate all that sugar in there and get all those lumps of cream cheese out. Now I'm using a wire whisk. It's a little bit more stiff than my silicone whisk, but it's also noisier. Trade-off, right? I also like the whiskers of this whisk, but they're a little bit tighter. I feel like there's a little bit more surface area, which means it's better at getting out lumps. Okay, so that's well mixed. I don't feel the grains of sugar anymore. Okay, that took like all of 1 minute. Alrighty, now we're gonna set that aside. Next, we're going to need some whipping cream. This is 200 grams of whipping cream. That's about 3/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of very cold whipping cream. This is what's going to give us that airy texture. So I'm going to place that here. Now we're going to use a hand mixer and beat this on medium-high until we get medium stiff peaks. Now, if you don't have a hand mixer, you of course could do this with a whisk, but this will be much faster. Alrighty, here we go. So it's gonna be a little loud. I'm not gonna talk while this happens. Alrighty, here we go. So my little island here has a little power strip on the side. Now I either forget to plug this into the power strip or I forget to turn the power strip on. I don't know why, but I do. This time I forgot to both plug it in and to turn it on. So plugged it in. Now I'm gonna I had that on and Jesus, I don't think I've ever done that before. See, this also has a little trigger right here, right underneath, and if you pull the trigger, then the whiskers fall out, as you just saw. All right, we're gonna beat this on medium-high speed, okay. Also, whipped cream beats better and faster into peaks if it's nice and cold, so I had this in the refrigerator. So nice and cold whipping cream equals faster whipped cream. All right, here we go. Now, once this starts to thicken up, turning this into whipped cream happens pretty quickly. So make sure to slow down, because if you beat it too much, you're gonna get kind of a grainy whipped cream and it's gonna be more like butter. So as you get closer, kind of stop, pause, assess, see what you're at, and then keep going. Alrighty, just what I'm doing. We're not there. Here we go. Right. Grab a spatula, and there we have it. This is probably medium stiffness. I want this to be a little bit thicker because we are going to be adding the cream cheese, which is going to weight it down a bit, and I want to be floofy. Right, now I'm going to add the cream cheese mixture in there. And just beat this up. Now we're just going to fold in the cream cheese mixture. Can you see what I'm doing? And that's pretty much it. That's it. That's it. I'm going to beat it a little bit more with our mixer. That's our air cheesecake. But to make this look super cute, let's put this in a piping bag so we can get that little dollopy look. I've got a reusable piping bag. I didn't even bother to put a tip. It's just open. And I'm gonna fill this up with our mixture. I love these big bags because you can fit so much more into them, so you don't have to refill them. I find that a pain. Okay, now twist it up and squeeze it out. Okay, so I've got a little tiny dish here and I'm going to pipe my little air cheesecake right onto it. See that? All right, here we go. I'm gonna start by just doing a big pile like that. And then I'm gonna stop. Wait, I'm gonna make that bigger. That's pretty cute. Then I'm gonna do another dollop on top of that. And then I'm gonna try to get it to be pointy. Sort of what I wanted. It looks a little bit like a snowman. Let's try that again. Start in the middle, poop. Okay. Do it again, poop. Pretty similar to the first one. It looks more like a little pile of poop, actually, than what I want it to look, but let's just do it faster. Oh, that one's cuter. All right, because it is all about the cuteness. I'm gonna have a whole little army of these. Oh, that's tall. That's a tall one. All right, my lovelies, I am back with my air cheesecakes and they are pretty cute. They look very reminiscent to ungo, which is the Japanese word for kind of a cute poop. But yep, here we are. Here we are. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. They have a very light texture to them. Alrighty, here we go. Let's give this a taste. Very light and fluffy. Look at that. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. Very rich. Light and airy, like a foam, but very much more like whipped cream in texture. There is, after all, more whipped cream to cream cheese in terms of the ratio of this recipe. So it's got that whipped cream consistency, but a little heavier. So in terms of flavor, very reminiscent of a cheesecake. It is slightly sweetened. In terms of sweetness, if we were to compare it to a New York style cheesecake, this has a lot less sugar. This is just lightly sweetened, which I quite like, both in richness and most importantly, consistency. It's got that really lovely, airy, whipped consistency of a mousse. It's also eaten much more like a mousse. You don't have that kind of graham cracker crust at the bottom, so it's less like a pie. But it's lovely. It's very rich and definitely feels indulgent, but not overly so because you're just having a little portion here. This is a Japanese recipe, so it is made for Japanese palates in terms of both level of sweetness, in terms of mouthfeel, and in terms of portion size also. So this recipe makes about, I would say, 6 to 8 portions. It's just enough to give you the satisfaction of having some cheesecake without feeling like you've overindulged. I quite like it. It is very different than a New York style cheesecake though, but delicious. I think this would go really well with some fruit, maybe some blueberries or strawberries, or I think it would be totally decadent on top of a chocolate cake. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for joining me, and big thanks to Bokksu for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try Bokksu for yourself, click the link down below and use my code EMMY to receive 10% off your first Bokksu order. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Check out my website. I'll include a printable version of this recipe. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. I've got my snowman poopy friends, snowman poopy friends, snowman poopy friends.